Well, I just did a whole car last night, so that if that answers your question. No, I've got I checked my records and I've got 6,134 freights career that I count, and I have like a minimum level for what I count. Like a bubble, one bubble fill, I don't count that, or like tags or hollows or
What do you
whatever. I don't
count?
count any of those. It's got to be like there's a minimum like a stamp, or I do what I call the double bubble, like two bubble throws like on a panel next to each other. That's like the minimum. That's my bar for what counts for that number I just gave you. But I don't know. I just keep going because I love it. I love what I do, and I can't seem to like. I assumed that as I got older, I would slow down and just go out once in a while, and that's what most of my crewmates who are closer to my age. That's where they're at. Is they're like semi-retired. They get out in the summertime once in a while when the good spots laid up. I can maybe drag them out to do a freight or two. Some of the boys are a little still trying to get it, but they got families and mortgages and jobs and all kinds of stuff. And I'm still living the sort of just that loose lifestyle where I've got a lot of free time. So I'm still doing it as much as ever. I did. 2020 was a good year because, as all my other shit got canceled, so there was nothing to do but paint. And the plague didn't really change my life that much because I was already into avoiding people and and wearing a mask all the time. So for paint fumes, so I was like, all right, whatever. So I got over 500 that year, and I've got over 300 this year. So I haven't. I've been kind of surprised. I've been expecting to slow down, and I just haven't because I'll be at home and I'll be like, I'm fiending, or I'll go to the bench spot, or I'll go to the yard and be like, ooh, there's a BNSF laid up. I got to get that. Like I just rolled by the bench here, and I was like, ooh, there's a BNSF. I'd love to get that car. And then I went around the other side. And I'm like, oh, I'm already on it. Cool.
That's hilarious.
Do you think that it's possible to, I don't know, like hit every single freight car? Because
No.
when
Short answer, no. But go on.
there's a lot of people that hit the cities. They're all like, yo, I gotta hit every borough. I gotta do all city. Like I could do this. It's kind of possible to like almost, if you think about it, like hit every street in a way if you catch a tag at least. But yeah, I was just wondering if you ever had like a goal in mind or thought that was in some type of reach.
So the freight version of that is to get up on different. You can't hit every car. There's 2 million cars. There's 2 million cars in circulation, and they're building new ones and taking old ones out of service. So it's really more like probably 2.5 million cars that you've got to like. So that's not happening. But the way to get saturation is you look for all the different brands. You look for all the different car types. Traveling's important because the freights travel, but not every freight travels to me. There's some that'll run like, they run from Texas to Cali and maybe dip into Mexico once in a while, and that's it.
Just stay there,
They
yeah.
never come here. They won't even cross the Mississippi River. So I got to go get those. So I've done a lot of homework, and I know a lot about the railroads, the railroad companies, the big four, class ones, short lines, what goes where. So the way to get saturation, the sort of what you're talking about, like trying to get every block, every borough, bombing, the freight version of that is to get all the different lines, to travel and get cars that don't come to you, and to hit all different types of cars. There's a lot of people out there who all they want to hit is reefers, or all they want to hit is auto racks or box cars, and that's nice. I love those. Part of a balanced diet, but you got to hit the gondolas, you got to hit the clunky cars, the gravel cars, the maintenance away cars that are all beat to shit. Tankers need some love, hoppers. So you got to hit it all, and if you're savvy about, I actually collected, I keep track of like all my freights in a log. It's all in like code, but it's like I log every freight, and I also did a count of like all the different reporting marks, and I'm like in the 300 different reporting marks for career, for cars that I've gotten. And I'm always looking every time if something comes to me and it's a car I've never seen before, I got to hit that car. And if I'm traveling, I'm like, ooh, what's that? I got to get that car. I was with some guys out west, and they love the auto racks. They were all about the auto racks. And now I'm far from home, so we're going into the yard, and they're headed for the racks, and they're climbing over these other lines of stuff, and I'm like, what are these cars? It's like an ATSF rock car with the Atchison Topeka Santa Fe logo on it. I'm like, I gotta hit this, and they're like, oh, those are just local dogs. They don't go anywhere. I'm like, I'm not from here. I gotta get that car. You guys go hit the racks. I'm gonna paint this car here. So yeah, that's what you have to do to get the full saturation. Is you can't turn down certain cars just because they don't go far, or they're they don't have the nice smooth sides on them.
So you would say traveling is definitely key. Like if you were to stay in let's say you stay in your city, right, or town, or wherever you are, or even your state, and you hit up every single day freights. First of all, it would take years of every single day to get to the number 6,000 and something. Not to mention as some cars go out of service. But second of all, even if you did that, you would have had to do it in different states and traveled to be able to truly be all across America, because some, like you said, some don't go everywhere.
Right.
So the key is not just consistency over years, but consistency and spreading wide and understanding the different trains and the different companies and where they go in order to get that what you keep calling saturation, like, which is a good explanation of what you have. Like one time I drove to I drove to North Carolina, and or maybe South, but whatever, and I went to sleep in a car, and then I woke up in the morning, and then the sun came up, and I slept in like a lot, like a random parking lot, because I was just trying to find a place to sleep in the car. And when the sun came up, I saw there was an Ichabod end to end, and I was like, dude, like what the fuck is this? Like I was just like super northeast, and you were on every line, and then I come down south, and and it was the only one. It was the only freight in there, and then it was an Ichabod end to end, and I'm like, truly it is like it is saturation, and I've thought a lot about like the concept of New York standards, like all city, and then the idea of like, I guess, freight saturation, so all country, and which one's like harder or easier to do. And it kind of seems like, just by the fact that really only, in my opinion, one person has done the freight version, which is you, in my opinion, then it must seem like the freight version is much, much harder. Because if you did 6,000 somethings in New York, it would top, like, I don't even want to know. You would be in jail is what you would be.
Yeah, pretty much.
You would be in jail, and your house would be raided.
Yeah.